Alright Guardians, this is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. This is our Titan edition. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday with all three classes, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. So if you need any of those guides, look in the description box down below, and while you're at it, hit subscribe if you're new. I think I said that before, because we also do a Challenge of Elders guide with the what I assume to be the best point generating class for that week. But yes, that's going to be also in the description box down below. So if any of that sounds good to you, go ahead and look there. Now let's go ahead and look over the modifiers for the week, and then we'll rock our setup as far as weapon recommendations, subclass recommendations, subclass setup, all that good stuff. Modifiers this week include Void Burn. Void damage from any source is greatly increased. Brawler. Guardian melee damage is also greatly increased. Grounded players take more damage while airborne, so be very careful when you jump. Ironclad. More enemies have shields, which just means the Scions have shields pretty much. And Daybreak. This is going to give you mayhem ability recharge rates, so you're going to get your grenades, your melees, and your supers very, very quickly. I'd say you get a super like every 30 to 40 seconds. It's pretty awesome. As far as setup goes, I would say rock a scout rifle, high impact if at all possible. If you're using adept weapons, go ahead and rock either the Doom of Chelchis or the Steel Medulla. Those two are both really good void weapons. Wish I had them. Anyways, Devil's Dawn is what I'm rocking, but if you have a Ex Machina or a Event Horizon, those also do really well. As you see, Event Horizon has slightly less damage impact than the Devil's Dawn or Ex Machina, so I would say rock one of those two if you can. And then I would highly suggest a rocket launcher, either with cluster bombs, but more preferably grenades and horseshoes. You'll see why later on. And then I would rock Armamentarium to get that additional grenade charge. And as far as subclass goes, pretty much go all the way across the top. You want Untouchable, reduces the cooldown time of Word of Dawn, so you're going to get it even more frequently. Bastion increases the duration of Word of Dawn, so it's going to last longer. Most people use War Machine. I found that Unbreakable is actually my preferred mode of melee charge. Force Barrier continually recharges just like your health, so once it gets a little bit of damage, it will recharge. It's pretty awesome. I'm using Weapons of Light. If you feel less confident, go Blessings of Light, no big deal. And then I'm rocking Spike Grenades. Let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so as soon as you get to this Nightfall tiered area, what I would like to do is, since we're using Spike Grenades, just go ahead and throw some Spike Grenades up there, if you can land them. Unfortunately, I'm not the greatest. But go ahead, and as you can see, it takes out all 5 of them. There's also going to be a few Legionnaires, maybe about 5 or 6 of them down below, so go ahead and take care of them really quick. And then once you go around the corner, there's going to be like 2 or 3 more Scions, as well as 2 Phalanxes, a Colossus, and a couple more Legionnaires as well. Nothing too massive at all to worry about. I would save your special ammo for the tank, however, you'll see why in just a minute. Alright, so important side note, if you don't know, while you pop your super, you will get your health back. That will help a lot. So if you're in a bind and you got your super, just go ahead and pop it right where you stand. Or maybe, get behind something. Either way, you should be pretty decent. Alright, so now what you hopefully want to do is pop your super behind one of these, I don't know what you call them, boxes, pillars, mini pillars, whatever, as you can see right there. That way it gives you full access to shoot this tank. Now unfortunately it still does take 4 shots to take down these thrusters, so what I like to do is get them down to about 1 shot left each, and then I just go back around. So hopefully you can do that a bit quicker than I can. You'll see in just a second I do get a little caught up dealing with ads. What you want to do is just go ahead and throw some spike grenades on that pillar. Just keep them coming. And then every time you get a super, just go ahead and pop it right on top of the other one. That way you're constantly having a place to run and hide from. As you can see, that tank does not stop. And then just go ahead and finish off this tank. Now if you do find yourself in a bind with the tank constantly shooting you, that works right there. Or you can also hide behind a pillar while it's charging up, and once you go behind that piece of cover, it should allow you to cancel out that shot. So just keep that in mind while you're going. Otherwise, your bubble should keep you pretty safe as long as it's active. Once you kill the tank, go ahead and just rock your way down here. Hopefully you can land your shots. Otherwise, just shoot a couple rockets. There is a taken Centurion down there. As you can see him, he's kind of hiding behind that orb. And he does throw void orbs at you, which will do a lot of damage, so keep that in mind. If you want to just shoot a rocket at him, that would be fantastic. Get him out of the way as quickly as possible, and just shoot down these orbs because they will do void damage and they will hurt a lot. There's also going to be 4 acolytes over here. They are doing arc damage, but they will still hurt quite a bit. So just don't take them for granted is what I'm saying, as you can see. And then go ahead and move on to the next section. Alright, so once you get in this room, there's going to be about 4, maybe, I would say 4 phalanxes, as well as 1 colossus, as you saw we just take down, and then there's just going to be a bunch of legionnaires. So go ahead and just take them all out. Stay back a little bit. If you go running in there, they're just going to melt you really quickly. You're going to have to start this part all over again and again and again. So stay back. Pop your bubble if you have to. And then just rock on to the next part. Alright, so now that we're at the final boss fight, go ahead and shoot these things. These little explosive things, at least these two. And then scan the thing, of course, and then run all the way back into this corner. This is, I guess, a cheese, if you want to call it that. But once Mao, however you say his name, as you can see, he is invulnerable to damage until his health bar actually pops up. Now, spike grenades aren't as useful in this section, as you can see, but go ahead and just keep throwing whatever grenades you're using. Spike grenades will do a lot of damage, which is why I'm continuing to use them. So go ahead and just keep doing that until you get him to about a third into his health. There's going to be 3 phalanxes that spawn on the right side. Take them out as quickly as possible, and then look over to the left side. There's going to be about 6 or so scions. By the time you get rid of these guys, they should be decently close to you, so just go ahead and be aware of that. As you can see, they're making their way. Go ahead, throw some spike grenades. They'll run straight into it. They're dumb. But then go ahead and actually just pop your super, because that way you can just take these guys out real quick. As you can see, health, regen, awesome. And then it also gives you a fair amount of cover that lasts a pretty decent amount of time. And if you're using weapons of light, as you can see, they go down really quick. So go ahead and just finish off Ma'al to about half health, and then he'll flee. And then he'll spawn in some adds. This time it'll be a couple scions, some legionnaires, 1 centurion from each side, and I think a couple phalanxes. Nothing too major to worry about. Just go ahead and keep throwing your grenades, finishing them off. Weapons of light actually does really well in this section in particular. And then, as you can see, just kind of come back down, pop it, and then go right back into that corner. And then you can just use your bubble for safety. And as long as you're killing these adds, as you go along, your super should spawn in before this bubble runs out. So that's always very helpful. One tip I would suggest is hold on to your rockets until the one of the last waves. We'll get to that when we get to it. And as you can see, I'm just constantly popping my super. That's exactly what you want to do, because it will drop orbs and that will generate points. And I think every 3rd kill you get while you're enhanced by your bubble will also give you additional points. So that's always good. Then Valus to Arc will spawn in, and what I like to do is just use my weapons of light, which doesn't affect grenades as far as I'm aware. You just go ahead and throw your spike grenades right behind them, and it will bounce back at them like so. And then just shoot them. In this wave, there's going to be about 3 or 4 legionnaires on each side, and then there's also going to be centurions from each side. So just be aware of them. It's not too difficult at all. As you can see, they're going down really quick. It's partially because of weapons of light. And then just go ahead and just take these guys out. And then once they're dead, finish off the last 1/4 of Ta'ark's health until he gets down to about half. And then you're going to get another wave. This wave is going to be a little bit trickier. This is one of the waves you want to save your rockets for. There are going to be majors in this section. Go ahead and throw your grenades. As you can see, I think there's 2 major legionnaires in this wave, as well as some centurions. 1 on each side. And I do believe that's it. Just the 2 majors this time around. So if you can't kill those majors right away, just go ahead and pop in and out of your bubble with your rocket. That'll work just fine. And then once they are finished off, the bosses will both spawn in, and you'll want to be a little bit more careful. And also a good little trick here, just leave one of the adds alive, preferably one of the red barred health Legionnaires, and that way you can run around and pick up whatever ammo box you got, either the special or the heavy, as well as any on the ground. That will help a lot with this last bit. And then once those guys spawn in, go ahead and throw a couple grenades there. As you can see, they're going to do just like before. He'll run past. The only difference with them now is the Valis Ma'al will have a fire to his slam. So try not to get too awful far away from this corner we're standing in. Once you get them down to about a quarter health, these guys are going to spawn in. I believe they're all just red bar enemies. There's going to be some Legionnaires, some Scions, and a couple Phalanxes, as you can see. Nothing too major. Just dip in and out of your bubble. Get his kills as quickly as possible. And just be aware of your health. As you can see, even though the first bubble is still there, I'm popping another bubble. That should be happening with you as well. As long as you're getting these kills, and you've got your subclass set up like I showed in the setup, you should be golden to just keep those points rolling, those bubbles popping. And then once you kill this guy, Valis Ma'al, that's when things get a little bit trickier, but luckily with Titans it is a lot easier than normal. There are going to be a pretty decently sized wave of enemies that will spawn in behind Ballista Arc. You'll get, I believe it's 2 major Legionnaires, 1 major Centurion, 1 major Phalanx, and like 2 or 3 red barred Scions and a couple Legionnaires. So just be very careful of that. Make sure you have a bubble popped and ready to go in an area that you can easily duck in and out of it. As you can see, throw your grenades. Here we go. Wait until they come out of that shield. You don't want to waste any rockets. There we go. Just take them out as quickly as possible. Especially try and get that Centurion out of the way. Once you do him and the major Legionnaire, you don't have to worry about these massive rockets you see them shooting at me right now. Go ahead and throw your grenades. And then just pop in and out of this bubble. Hopefully you're quick enough that you can actually get your next super up by the time that rolls out. As you can see, we're safe. There's no more ads. All you have to do now is just collect ammo and be very careful with that shield. Anytime he jumps, get out of the way. You want to jump in the opposite direction he's going. So what I like to do is just hop into his bubble, throw a spike grenade directly under him, shoot a rocket as he lands, and just repeat this over and over. If you're fast enough, you can get 2 grenades. Perfect. Do that. But be very careful of that shield. I've experienced and have seen accidental deaths from shooting that damn shield or your own bubble multiple times. Like, it happens all the time. So be very careful of that shield. And be very careful where you jump. If he's jumping, make sure you're jumping in a different direction. Or don't jump at all, to be honest. You want to be very careful. As you can see, if I was like 380 health right, or 380 light right there, I would have been dead right then and there. So just be very, very careful with how you jump. Because he will not always just, jump across the way. He will sometimes just hop up and then just slam the ground. So you have to be very careful of that. But other than that, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you found it informative, helpful, useful. That's what we strive for here on this channel. Like I said at the beginning of the video, links are in the description to all other guides that we do this week, or every single week, so hit subscribe. And then rewards are at the end of the video. That's right, we're sandwiching rewards with this video. comments, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.
We can come back for them when you're ready. Let's get you home.